weeks. Some of them are returning series, and some of them are new series. I just wanted to go over it. I got to see some of the trailers that interest me. I didn't see all of the trailers, but I'll just go down the line and see what my opinion and what I have preference of what I may or may not be watching. Because you start adding to that watch list, and then it just keeps growing and growing, and then before you know it, you have so many to get through, and then the next season, the fall season comes in, or the winter, and then you're like, oh, well, I have 30, now I have 40, wait, is it 100 now, so, but, the first one's on here. I'd never watched A Couple of Cuckoos. It's in its second season, but it says right here, Nagy gets stuck in a love quadrangle as fate is set in motion once again in season 2. Oh, I'm curious what the fourth angle is. I see 3, but I don't know the fourth angle. The next one, Apocalypse Bringer, Minagra World. Conquest starts with the civilization of ruin. A top player wakes in his favorite game world and starts building an evil empire from scratch. Okay. Kinda sounds a little bit like Overlord, but instead of with Overlord, the player wakes up. He has all this stuff with him, but this is the player wakes up and has nothing. I wonder how interesting that would be. The next one is Arc Knights Rise from Ember. I never watched any of the Arc Knights, the anime, I think before this one, or I've never played the game either, so I don't know much about the lore, about who any of these characters are, or what's going on in this picture with the two characters. Looks like they're coming at drawing swords or something. Let's see, next one. Betrothed to my sister's ex. Mistaken identity, tragedy, and a surprise proposal upend a noble girl's life. Okay. So it's gonna be probably about these two, and then I wonder how the interaction will go in this romance. Captivated by you. Explore stories about what it's like to be young at an all-boys school in co-ed high school. So I'm wondering if this is you have different students that you follow around. Like each student will have like maybe a 10-minute story, and then you move on to the next student. I don't know if that's what they're going for here. The next one, Clavatis, a Dark Lord, a reborn hero, and a child unite to change the fate of a dying world. Interesting. I'm really intrigued by the sword here. It's a red sword, so I wonder what kind of abilities that has, and what kind of obstacles they're gonna face. Okay. Next one. Cultural exchange with a game center girl. So I watched the trailer for that one here, and from what I can gather, the girl right here is from the UK. So the voice actor speaks English, and then the guy who's like the main, I guess the other main character, he speaks Japanese. So he's trying to find a way to communicate to her, even though they have this language barrier, because I guess how it looked in the trailer is she was trying to win some kind of, I guess, thing at one of those like crane game arcades, and he's like works there, and he felt bad, I guess, that she didn't get one or something, so he ends up giving her like a stuffed animal or something, and then it turns into like this, I guess, friendship maybe of them, I guess, trying to communicate even though they don't speak each other's language. Is real good, is what I gathered from it. I did watch Dan Da Don, season 1 when it came out. It was pretty off the wall crazy with the animation and everything like that, and like the characters definitely have strong personalities. You definitely know these people are in here, and just like the amount of just over the top animation, with if it's with the comedy or the action in it, I think works pretty well for it. I can see why it's pretty like popular. Dealing with Mikadono sisters is a breeze. You is adopted by the Mikadono family and must handle his 3 genius stepsisters falling for him. Okay, so this is like another harem anime, and he's just got to like not stop the advances of these stepsisters from falling from him. So I don't know if this is like trying to be closer to like a Tenchi Muyo, or like the quintuplet anime one with the guy and the quintuplets that he like, I don't know if he tutors them or something, but there's another one there. I don't know how closer it is, but it's love. Deacon no Mogura, the earthbound mole, a banned hermit, traps spirits in his lantern as strange encounters blur life and afterlife. Okay, so we got a supernatural kind of guy here. I'm wondering if the lantern works like he's able to use the energy he traps to fight against the spirits that aren't trapped in there. Like there's like in the DC comic universe, there's people called like Green Lanterns, and they use like energy that's from a lantern too, and they like construct like different kinds of physical things, like a fist, or like a corkscrew, or you know, a giant bat or something to use. It's just about, like, for them it's willpower. So I don't know if it's like that, where you trap a lot of like this spiritual energy, and then you can reuse that to your advantage to help you, or if it's like a Pokeball where you start trapping them in there, and then they either become yours to fight, or they're just trapped in there forever. this next trailer. Detectives these days are crazy. Legendary detective Nagumo, now clueless and outdated, is thrust back in action by a teen girl. So this guy's like kind of retired from being a detective, and then this girl, I guess, comes into his office or where he lives and is like, hey, I need you to train me to be a detective. And he's like, I don't know. So he's kind of like old school detective where he doesn't, I don't know, like he doesn't use much, I feel like, technology maybe, and she's more with the current state of things are. And then you kind of meet these other eccentric detectives, what I saw in the trailer, and then how they're connected. And I'm really curious, like, if this is trying to be like a case of the week, and then he kind of explains things to her, and then she uses her own like intuition or perspective to try to help him solve it. And there's obviously the disconnect for him, like understanding maybe how the technology works nowadays, and the disconnect from her is like maybe she's not focused on the details or looks at details more effectively. I don't know, but it's interesting to see how the dynamic in this would be. And then I'm also, because they always show, like in most trailers, they show like some of the supporting characters are cast, and some of the detectives in the back looked interesting, and I'm curious how their personalities work when they solve crimes. Dr. Stone, I've only watched the first season, so I don't know anything past that. I think they just released the third season, I believe, so I don't know what this is about. This one is interesting. I know this one's probably a lot of people are waiting to see. Gachiakuda. I watched the trailer for this, and the artwork, the animation, and the story are interesting. And pretty much the main character guy, I guess there's these people that live on like I don't know, a giant, like I don't know if it's a floating island or some kind of giant cliff area, but they pretty much throw all their trash off their island to the bottom, and then I guess if they think anybody is some kind of rebel or some kind of crook or whatever, they end up dropping them into this pile of garbage that's beneath them. And then you find out, like the main character gets dropped down there, and you find out that a lot of the trash comes to life, and these like giant trash monsters. But then you find out that people can use certain objects to transfer their energy or something and fight back to these monsters. So the main character's like, I guess, learning how to become like a garbage fighter at the bottom, and then he resents the fact that he got dropped by those people at the top, and he feels like they're disconnected with how society should be, and he wants to get back up there to set them straight. But the artwork is interesting. I did watch a little bit of this kind of interview with the creator of it. She was talking about how she has this like graffiti artist that helps her out with some of the background art or something, which makes the story and what she's tone or voice pop more. And the characters all have interesting designs, very creative. So that's one that I know people are probably going to look forward to. Grand Blue Dreaming Season 2. Iori's dream college life continues with endless seas, bright sunny days, and chaos with his diving club. Never watched the first season, so it's about a diving club in college. I wonder, if the first season, because usually some of these, sports animes or different club animes, they'll have, in the first season, they'll explain to people, what exactly is this? For example, in this one, diving club, what exactly you use in diving? what you have to do to make sure that you can function underwater and how you navigate that, and then also be able to sustain the different depths and pressures and stuff. The next one, I watched the trailer for Hotel Inhumans. At this hotel, Iku and Sarah grant every deadly wish. Guns, fake IDs, clean kills. Here, luxury meets lethality. So, oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention, I'm probably gonna butcher a lot of these names. I'll try my best, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty. Yeah. Don't take my pronunciation as like set in stone or anything. So when I first saw this, when I saw Hotel Inhumans, I thought this was gonna be like kind of like a Hotel Transylvania. If you ever seen the movie where like it's a bunch of like monsters and different characters come here, and it's up to these two to help take care of them because they're human and they have to take care of these inhuman monsters. That's what I thought it was, but it looks like it's two hosts that take care of different assassins and other people that work in that kind of line of work, and they have to, I guess, cater to their whim while also being able to, I guess, be lethal themselves. I mean, you can't work there if you definitely can't hold your own, I'm assuming. So that's an interesting anime there. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. I never saw the first season of this, so I don't know how the first season went or what happened there. The next one, I really this is one of my favorite is the Kaiju number 8. I watched the first season. I really like the animation, the characters, the different animation. I mean, when you have production IG behind this, the animation, it definitely will pop. Yeah, the first season, just the characters and everything, Yeah, the first season, pretty much Kaiju number 8 is like, you follow this guy, Kafka, he's like a cleanup crew, because in this world, the Kaiju get destroyed by like this defense force, and then you have a cleanup crew, which cleans up the big mess of the carcasses and stuff, and then they use that material to fashion new technologies and weapons and other things like that, and he's part of that. And then he meets this other kid who's doing it, and they end up going in to try to become defense force officers, but then something happens one night where Kafka ends up becoming a kaiju himself, and he has to now deal with that double life while also trying to be like trying to get in like the officers and stuff, and it hit all the right notes for me. So, but that's coming out in July. Kamitsubaki City under production. In a rebuilt city, 5 girls use songs to battle monsters born from human darkness. So it's like a band fighting monsters. I'm always like with these where they introduce music, how much music do they introduce? Like I watched an anime called Classical Lloyd, which is kind of loosely, it's kind of based on the classical composers of classical music, and they kind of revamp the classical music and kind of make it more contemporary, I guess new, and they had this like extra, you can, like you'll hear, Beethoven's, classics, and then it'll be redone in a way that you don't lose what it was, but they try to elevate it to a newer sound to go with the current episode. So I'm always interested in like the music, how much music is in there, every episode. Let's go karaoke. Satomi Oka joins a Yakuza named Kiji Narita for his group's customary karaoke competition. Oh, interesting. So this is like, we're getting ready for a karaoke competition. I wonder how that will play out. Like, how do you train for a karaoke competition? Is it like you have like preliminaries? Do you have to win local events and then that elevates you to another event? I don't know. That's interesting. I'm also curious what kind of songs they would play in this. They gotta have some, some bops in there that you can jam out to, Lord of Mysteries. In a steampunk world of secrets and gods, Klein dives deep into occult power and peril. So, by how it looks in the art here, I don't know if this guy's like kind of like one of these kind of very analytical, able to like understand what's going on and then be 3 or 4 steps ahead of the people or the situation is. Like he he thinks many steps ahead or something like that, because he kind of gives off that kind of vibe. So I don't know if that's where this is gonna go. Like he's looking for a mental challenge, or he wants to solve the mysteries because it intrigues him. I don't know. I'm getting off that kind of vibe, My Dress Up Darling season 2. I didn't mind the first season. It was there. It definitely had positive moments. There were some times where it got a little edgy for me. But I mean, the personality from Marin, the girl here, is I think great. It's different. The main guy here, I mean, he's kind of a little stiff here, but I mean, they both learn to come out of their shells in a way. They're able to, kind of help each other out here. But a little background is like she's a cosplayer, but she doesn't know how to sew. He can sew, but he doesn't really get out much. He's kind of a loner, I guess. He kind of just sits at home all day, so she kind of helps him out of his shell, and then he helps her with their costumes, and you get to meet some interesting characters throughout the series. Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show. Streamer Miku's life changes when a VR game challenges her and her friends with mysterious challenges. Okay. So, I'm curious if, like, they're in the VR and then they get an invite to go into this game and then they have to win the challenges to get out of the game or something. I remember one that I liked that was came to mind back in the Excel world, I think it was, where you have people in real life and they have online avatars, and then what was happening is that you could go into an online avatar, but then there was like this kind of, I don't know, interesting like hidden game or something where you could transform your avatar into like this kind of fighting avatar, and it had different attributes and stuff like that. So you had these like battling clans, and like the main character follows this girl who's like one of the kind of powerful group, and she's trying to like, I guess, conquer or something the area and try to get I think there's like 4 or 5 different leaders or something like that back together or something, and there's some other stuff going on, but the fight scenes are pretty fun. I mean, but this one, I'm intrigued. Like, how does it work? Like, what kind of games are there, and what happens if you lose, kind of thing. New saga. After beating the Demon Lord, Kyle wakes up in the past with past life memories. Can he save the world? So, you beat the game, but you get sent back to the beginning, and you have to redo it again, but you have all of the knowledge you accumulated to that point with you in the past. So I'm curious how far Kyle goes back into the past, and because I don't know if he's, like in most of these fantasy animes, you have like a party of characters, so if him and his party defeated the Demon Lord and he gets thrown back to the past, does that mean like he goes way into the past and meets new players or new characters, and then it goes back to the whole thing with, you know, if you go to the past and you change something, how does it affect the future? Like, is he gonna affect that, or was he by himself when he fought the Demon Lord? I don't know. See how that plays. Now, this last one was interesting to me, because I think, oh wait, there's more, never mind. This one was interesting to me. I saw the trailer for it. It's Night of the Living Cat. In 20XX, the world is dominated by a virus that turns humans into cats upon contact. Can humanity survive? So this is zombies, but instead of zombies, it's cats. And every time you're touch a cat, like it says, you turn into a cat. So if a cat comes up to you and you pet it, you turn into a cat. If a cat scratches you, you turn into a cat. Bites you, turn into a cat. If it leaps onto you, turn into a cat. So you have all of these people trying to escape the claws of all of these cats. It's quite a catastrophe, if you will. A lot of fur will fly in this anime, so it's interesting because, like, you see these people trying to dodge these cats, and they have like cat toys and stuff to try to, you know, create a diversion while they escape or something. So it's an definitely interesting idea there, because I mean, who doesn't like, you know, to see cats in an anime, and just the idea, I think, works out. So that should hopefully be very popular. On Kaiten Rebirth verse, Narihira Takaru meets the girl of his dreams, Tsukimiya, and gets another shot to fight for her life. Okay. So I don't know if this is like he failed once and he gets a second chance, or he dreamed of the girl and she becomes reality. And I don't know what the villain is here. I don't know if this guy or person, whoever helped facilitate this, or this is like a villain. I don't know. Private tutor to the Duke's daughter. After failing the court sorcerer exam, Alan agrees to tutor the Duke's daughter who can't use magic yet. Okay, so I'm guessing he's gotta try to, I mean, teach the basics to somebody who doesn't know anything. Well, I mean, a good thing is like with tutors, it's like when you teach somebody, it's like you start to, you have to know something and teach it. So maybe this will create a stronger ability in him to grow and be able to pass this exam next time. And I don't know if the Duke's daughter will have some kind of like ability that she'll awaken, or like she'll have like, maybe, I don't know, maybe she doesn't have the capacity to really learn this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Rascal does not dream of Santa Claus. Now in college, Sakuda Sagawa encounters another mysterious, unseeable girl in a Santa Claus costume. Okay, so I think this has to do with something like I think this is with the bunny girl anime. I forget what it's called, but it's along the same lines as this. I never saw that one, so I guess it's like a continuation of that. Oh, reborn as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon season 2. Boxo and Lamis are back and ready to face new challenges in Reborn as a vending machine season 2. I never saw this. It's always interesting how insane it goes with Reborn as a vending machine, or Reborn as this, or Reborn as a sword. That was one I wanted to see. I haven't seen yet. Reincarnated as a sword. I wanted to see that because I was intrigued by it. That this like person gets a sword, or this character gets a sword, and the sword is alive because it was reincarnated or something. But I never got to see that. But that's the same kind of thing with this, where it's like, how serious or how crazy does the story go, and what exactly are they fighting? Rent a Girlfriend season 4. I never watched any of the Rent a Girlfriends. Rui rocks. Come on a geological journey with Rui and Nagi as they uncover planet Earth's wonders. Oh, so we're getting into geology anime. We're gonna be looking at different kinds of rocks, which that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And I mean, there's a lot of interesting gemstones and like beautiful quartz and things like that they can talk about while also educating people at the same time. I mean, that's something I would definitely like to look at too. Scooped up by an S-rank adventurer. Lloyd is a white mage who is banished from a hero's party before becoming an unstoppable adventurer. So, he was a white mage, banished, and then he became unstoppable. So, does that mean he joins another party, and the party he now joins, they're not good at all, and he's the top tier person in it, or, does he, battle by himself? I would think that he probably tries to create another, hero party to join. And then I'm really curious what kind of battles, I mean, when you're at the top, if you're an S-ranked adventurer, what exactly are you going to be fighting that's going to be a challenge for you? Is it going to be giant monsters or different guilds, or are we going to be going through dungeons or castles? Is there some kind of evil, whatever Lord strong guy thing that he has to try to fight? I don't know. So I saw the trailer for the next one. See you tomorrow at the food court. So this is Rich Girl Wada and Lone Wolf Yamamoto meet daily at a food court and share laid back afternoons. So this is kind of very what is it? Like I said, laid back anime, slice of life. I want to say it felt like slice of life because. So I thought it was like they're working at a food court and they deal with the troubles of working at a food court, but no, they, I guess, come from two different schools. They meet up at a food court after school, and then they just talk about things that happened to them or talk about whatever's on their mind. That's what I'm getting from it. It's like a lot of just sitting at a food court and then just sharing each other's thoughts or something while maybe eating whatever's at the food court. Secrets of the Silent Witch. A legendary witch has mastered arts beyond her peers, but she can't get over her intense shyness. Okay, so you're kind of you're OP, but nobody knows you're OP. Okay. I've never watched Solo Campaign. Oh, was thinking of Laid Back Camp. That was another camping anime. This is a different one. So, a peaceful solo camper's trip gets crashed by an enthusiastic newbie. So he's trying to camp, and then this person comes and either, I don't know, walks by or gets lost, and then ends up learning about camping. I don't know. Taco P's original sin. The little alien Taco P travels to Earth and learns how things may be different than their home, happy planet. So, I'm curious, like, when they say happy planet, does that mean everybody on the planet's happy, and then you come to Earth, and then you realize not everything is happy in the world, and does it learn about other, like, emotions or something? I don't know. Gets to meet these people who have, like, problems, and I guess either has to learn about that and maybe makes them happy by trying, or maybe makes them, like, tries to make them happy. Maybe that's this Taco P's goal, is he sees these people alone or heartbroken and tries to make them happy. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. I never watched Rising of the Shield Hero. The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princesses. Shy Hero Toto joins beauties Ciel, an enemy in Goa, but they're plotting his murder. Can he survive this harem? So, I'm guessing, I don't know why they're trying to assassinate him. I don't know, maybe that was money, maybe. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're pretending to be his friend and he doesn't know, but it's kind of probably those ones where it's like they try to do something to him, but he either gets out of the way or he, inadvertently dodges their attacks, and it's kind of like they try to, like, put him in some kind of trap and he somehow escapes out of it. I don't know, because I'm really curious what the hero is really adventuring for. Like, is it just generic monsters he's battling or something? Or maybe he thinks that these princesses are his friends. I don't know. The water magician Rio is reincarnated into a legendary magician, but it took 20 years inside a monster-infested wilderness. So does it mean that it took him 20 years to get to that point, or he's already at legendary class and no, it says, but it took 20 years. So I don't know if that means you're just gonna follow him in this wilderness with these giant monsters as he battles them with water bending or something. I don't know. I never watched Toilet Bound, Hanako-kun. I think the manga is complete, I think, in that, but I haven't watched that. Turkey Time to Strike. I saw the trailer for this. This was interesting because it's a anime about bowling, and if you don't know, a turkey in bowling is 3 strikes in a row. That's what they call it, so that's why it's kind of called Turkey. But the anime was interesting because it's like you have a team of girls, like, bowling, and then I think one of them doesn't like how the bowling team is or something, and I think steps away, or the team breaks up or something. I don't know. It looked like one of them didn't want to be there or something, but it's like you're watching them bowl, and I guess the struggles with how to with competitive bowling. So I'm really curious how they're gonna make that, like, really, like any sports anime, like, really intense, so you can be, like, on the edge of your seat and be like, what? This person's about to. Are they gonna get a spare? Are they gonna get the 7-10 split? Is it gonna be a strike? I don't know. Watari Kun's is about to collapse. 9 Watari lives solely for his little sister until his chaotic childhood friend storms back into his life. Okay, I don't know what. So this friend that's chaotic, I'm guessing, is gonna kind of cause all sorts of mayhem in the anime, and then it's up to Nato, not Nato, to Watari to be like how to handle the absurdity that's gonna happen in each episode. I guess, I don't know. Welcome to Outcast Restaurant. When superstar adventurer Dennis gets exiled from his party, he pursues his true passion, delicious cuisine. Oh, this is interesting. So it's kind of like you're in a fantasy world and he creates his own restaurant. And it's up to him. I don't know if it's going to be like every episode's going to be a different party coming in to eat his cuisine, or what kind of problems he's going to deal with as a restaurant in the fantasy world or something. With You in the Rain. Now this was interesting too. I saw the trailer for this. At first, I didn't think it was going to be, I felt like there was going to be a punchline in the trailer, because it felt like how it was being like shown. Like, you have this tanuki, I guess, in a box, and it says take me home or something, and this person here is like in the rain but doesn't have an umbrella, so the rain's falling on him here, and then the tanuki gives an umbrella to the person here, and then this creates like this connection, friendship or something, where I guess they end up like staying together. At first I thought this was going to be kind of like off the wall crazy, because you're like, okay, what's coming? Why is gives an umbrella or something? But it looks like it might be a little bit more kind of slice of lifey, and it's just like you seeing them live in their daily life, how they respond to each other, what the dynamic is in the relationships, like how does each one deal with everybody, and what kind of problems each one comes up with or something. So I'm intrigued by that. It looked interesting. And then I guess there's 6 more that haven't been announced yet or something. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just wanted to go over the simulcast. Some of these I may watch or may not watch at all because of the queue time on some of the other animes I have. I gotta watch again. I don't know. But I mean, definitely it's a full plate on this on this summer lineup. It's a full plate on this summer lineup here. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Bye.